It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're starting a brand new month off with May 1st, 1992. A lot of movies this week, 7 movies in particular, but this is going to be one of those weeks where most of the movies on here I've either not seen, I hardly ever knew about, or were just mostly forgettable films. In fact, half of the movies I looked at, when I was looking for the trailers for these, I couldn't even find the trailers for these, so half of this is going to be like different clips from these movies. Short clips, by the way. And I'll just tell you the plot synopsis as we get to those particular films. But a lot of movies to get to, so let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right on into it and start off with the first movie that we have here. A movie that obviously doesn't have a production company behind it, because when I went to Box Office Mojo, there was no studio behind this film. No, you think I'm joking. There's literally no distributor on our first movie. And that's not the only movie that doesn't have a distributor on it. That film, of course, being Rutger Hauer in Split Second.
I unloaded a full clip, 450 Magnum, point blank. It disappeared.
He can hear its heartbeat.
Where did he go?
He knows it's out there.
Somebody must have seen something.
He knows what it can do.
You're telling me there's something running around loose in this city, ripping the heart out of people and eating them?
Maybe he eats him for breakfast.
Now, it's really pissing him off.
Foster!
And his new partner
I work alone.
makes 2.
Paranoid people with guns are a menace to society.
You'd be paranoid too if you had a dipshit like this following you.
I've got honors and serial homicide.
Oh, terrific.
It has no motive.
The only thing we know for sure is that he's not a vegetarian.
It has the DNA structure of all its victims.
It gives no warning.
Ready to die.
But one thing's for certain.
We gotta get bigger guns.
It ain't no pushover.
2, yeah. Bingo.
We want to get to Cannon Street.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do. Boy, are you pushy.
I wouldn't say this thing thinks it's safe. I'd say it is safe.
Safe. Is it deep shit?
Get out of there! 5 seconds!
Okay, 4, 3, 2.
Rutger Hauer. Split Second.
Honestly, I didn't even know this movie existed until I saw that it was released on Blu-ray by MVD a couple of years ago. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it. Judging by this trailer, it really looks like a bad mix of a Blade Runner ripoff and an Alien ripoff, knockoff, whatever you want to put it, but it doesn't look good at all. It looks like one of those movies that was trying to replicate Blade Runner and Alien, and failed miserably at it. I mean, they got some decent people in there. I mean, Rutger Hauer's in here from Blade Runner, who was in Blade Runner, I should say. Kim Cattrall, who was just in Star Trek 6. The director of this are Tony Maylam and Ian Sharp. The writer of this is Gary Scott Thompson, who would later go on to become known for his work on Too Fast, Too Furious, and then later created the NBC series Las Vegas. That's pretty much all I got for you. I haven't seen this movie. I can't really talk about the film itself, but I could look at this trailer and tell you that it does not look good whatsoever. Did not get good reviews from the stuff that I've seen. So, yeah, can't really say too much more about this one. It doesn't look too promising at all. I probably will never watch it, so that is Split Second for you. But let's go ahead and move on to the next movie here, and that is Tom Selleck in the comedy Folks, which also stars Don Amici.
Hello, John?
John Aldridge is about to come face to face with the most terrifying force known to man. His folks.
We don't want to be a burden. We'll sleep in the car.
They'll invade his home. Didn't she anything? Break up his marriage.
You're much nicer than John's first wife.
Didn't I tell you?
You were married before and you didn't tell me?
Told somebody. And take over his life.
He's always loved this car.
I've got a good idea. Stop the car!
It's only fitting that he die, you know.
they're his best friends.
I missed you. I don't know who the hell you are.
They're his worst nightmare.
It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A simple accident would do.
Oh, no!
Would it kill you to be nice to your parents?
Okay, that's where I gotta stop it because, come on, man, that was such a lazy attempt at comedy right there. I didn't even watch the rest of the trailer to say, okay, I know how this movie is gonna be, and yeah, I have seen this movie, and that's their lazy attempt at comedy, folks. And there's really nothing more I can say about this. Everybody has said that it's a bad movie. It was on many people's list of the worst films of '92. Tom Selleck and Don Amici really just took a paycheck and didn't even look at the script, just went along with it, and they have this huge blemish on their careers. I mean, this is a bad movie. This is a bad movie that is so lazy at trying to find ways to make you laugh. This is directed by the same guy that did Weekend at Bernie's, which was stupid, but it knew it was stupid. This is a movie that's trying to be not only it's not even trying to hide the fact that it's stupid. Like Weekend at Bernie's was plain straightforward. This is a movie that doesn't feel that way whatsoever. It's a movie that feels like, I think this director Ted Kachi saw Weekend at Bernie's become successful and be like, okay, I know what people want to see. People get stupid slapstick comedy, so I'll give them a stupid slapstick comedy mixed with a dark comedy too, because we love that as well. But yeah, if you're gonna do stupid slapstick and dark comedy, it's got to be better written than this piece of shit is, because it's a bad movie. You just saw the lazy attempts to be funny in this movie, and there's just nothing there whatsoever. This is the worst thing that Tom Selleck attached himself to as a leading actor. And he's done some really bad movies after his success with Magnum P.I. But this is definitely the worst thing he's ever attached his name to. I can't think of anything else he's done since that show ended that was worse than this particular film. This is a really bad movie. And, it's folks. I don't know what else to tell you. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie here, and that is the mountain climbing thriller K2. So this is a movie actually based off of a play about these two Americans who summited this mountain, the K2. I don't really know too much about this mountain itself, but the trailers for this actually look pretty promising to it. I haven't seen this movie. Unfortunately, it's another one I can't really comment on, but I'll tell you, this movie definitely has my interest in it very much, because I like these type of movies. I like these movies where you have these people climbing up these mountains and having to survive the elements. I mean, I love Cliffhanger, I love Vertical Limit, which came out almost 10 years after this, and most recently we had something like Everest, which is a very underrated movie, and yeah, this definitely looks like it's something right up my alley. It's one I'm very curious to check out one day, and the trailers for this actually look pretty promising too. Got a decent cast here: Michael Biehn from Alien and Terminator, Matt Craven, Raymond G. Barry. Just an overall pretty solid cast, and the visuals in here look pretty impressive just from those trailers that I've seen for this. This is one I definitely want to see at some point, and hopefully I will do that one day, but not right now. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is Leaving Normal.
Has a way with kids.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Marianne has a way with words. Leaving Normal is irresistible.
You are not going to regret this trip.
It's been called a wise, warm-hearted, richly comic picture. With brilliant performances from two of America's finest actresses. Christine Lottie, Meg Tilly, from the director of Glory, Leaving Normal. Rated R, starts Friday at select theaters. Check newspapers.
So Leaving Normal kind of looks like a much more dramatic version of Thelma and Louise. I mean, it's basically about these two women going across the country, dealing with their hardships and characters that they encounter Thelma and Louise was going more for an action comedy element, and this one's trying to be a little more dramatic while still having some funny moments hidden there. But I haven't really seen this movie, so I can't really comment on it. But it's directed by Edward Zwick, who also did Glory, which I thought was a great film. I don't think this is one of his more memorable films because this is one that not a lot of people really talk about. I also see that he did About Last Night before this one, but yeah, like I said, this movie didn't really... I don't think this movie really did all that well. It got a lot of mixed reviews, even though you got two really talented actresses in here, Christine Lottie and Meg Tilly. But overall, I don't know. It could be good. It could be good just for them alone, but I've never heard anybody really talk about this one that much, or anything in here that really tells me that I need to see this right away. But I mean, who knows? It could be one of those underrated gems, but for right now, it's not something I'm going to rush out to see anytime soon, unfortunately. But, so there you go. That's pretty much all I got to say about Leaving Normal. Let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, if I can get the page back up here again. And now we're getting into the movies where I couldn't find the trailers for them, so I just had to take some clips from them. Starting with the first one here, and that is Turtle Beach.
Got everything? Yep. Hurry up. Come on. Bye, darling.
Bye, Mummy. We'll see you next weekend.
You're going to your dad's, remember?
But we'll be with you for the holidays, won't we?
Got your hanky?
Yes. Thanks, Mum.
Here's yours.
Thanks, Mum.
Off you go now.
So yeah, not really a whole lot there in that clip. The basic premise of this is that Greta Scacchi plays an Australian photojournalist who leaves her family to cover the story of Vietnamese boat people in a Malaysian refugee camp. She befriends one of the Vietnamese streetwalkers who had married a diplomat, and together they try to bring awareness to the terrible conditions surrounded by the people there. Like I said, Greta Scacchi's in here. Joan Chen's also in this movie, who was in a pretty good set of movies here in between, right around this time period. I think she was also in Sidekick. She was also in the Joy Luck Club. I can't remember what else she was in, but I'm sure we'll get to some of her movies the further along we go. But I mean, nothing about this sounds too promising to me. It sounds like a movie that's trying to be kind of an Oscar baitish type of film, but like I said, I can't really comment on it too much. I haven't seen it, but acknowledging that it came out this weekend, and obviously didn't have much of a lasting impact because I hardly ever hear anybody talk about this film. So with that said, let's get on to the next movie that we have here, and that is Jim Jarmusch's Night on Earth.
You go to Brooklyn?
Hello, how are you?
Maksaville asiakkaalle keskellä yötä. Vähän hiljakin saa ajaa.
Sä tässä on idiootti.
Lopettakaa nyt, saatana nuijat, vai haluatte kävellä?
Io rimasi incantato.
E vai, quanto si dolore!
So Night on Earth is kind of an anthology of different stories revolving around taxi drivers, the bond that they have between them and their passengers in 5 different cities. You got one that takes place in Los Angeles, you got one that takes place in New York, one that takes place in Paris, one that takes place in Rome, and one that takes place in Helsinki. And it takes place through different parts of the day. Let me look at the cast list here. Winona Ryder and Jenna Rollins are in the Los Angeles one. Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad is in the New York one, along with Armin Moeller-Stahl and Rosie Perez. The Paris one features Isaac Di Bancoli, Beatrice Daly, and Emile Abasio Embo and Pascal Nazzoni. And I probably butchered those names altogether, but I'm reading them straight from Wikipedia. So Rome has Roberto Benigni in there, Paolo Bonicelli, and Helsinki has Matti Pelompa, Carl Vaninen, Sakari Kusmanen, and Tommy Salmela. Again, I probably completely butchered all those names there, but like I said, reading them off of Wikipedia, doing the best I can in this situation. Anyway, the music by Tom Waits is in here, And it's got some decent reviews to it. I like these kind of anthology movies. I like Shortcuts. I like New York Stories a lot. I like some of the other anthologies that we've gotten in the last couple of years, and it's Jim Jarmusch. And Jim Jarmusch usually makes some pretty good movies. I know that one of my favorite movies from him is a very underrated Bill Murray film, Broken Flowers, which came out in 2005. So, I don't know, maybe this could be pretty good. One I might definitely check out one day for sure. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie here, and that is Forest Whitaker in Diary of a Hitman.
Nothing personal. Purely business.
So the premise here is that Forest Whitaker plays a veteran hitman who's ready to call it quits, leave the profession, and his final job proves to be trickier than he expects when a sadistic bad guy recruits the assassin to kill his wife, Jane. You got, like I said, Forest Whitaker's in here, Seymour Cassell is in this, Sharon Stone, Sherilyn Fenn, James Belushi in here too. I would have never expected James Belushi to be in a serious movie like this, but here he is in this movie, and again, not really much more I can say about this one, but it's got Forest Whitaker in it, and usually he doesn't make a lot of bad movies, so I'm guessing this is going to be somewhat of merit, somewhat enjoyable, but like I said, I can't really comment on it. I haven't seen it, so maybe one day I'll check it out, but it's not something on my must-see list right now. But the cast alone has me interested to see what it could be. Let's go ahead and move on to the last movie that we have here, and that is Who Shot Pat?
What happened? I was assembly guys. What happened to Pat Kendall? The nurse said that the ambulance driver said it looked like he got shot.
So this stars Sandra Bullock, but you know how you go to Walmart and when you're up at the register, they usually have like a dollar bin of DVDs that have those really small cases in them, and they're just public domain movies with pictures of the actresses, and they don't really have much of an appearance in their movies. They're just there. They just have their name on the front because it's a notable name. This movie looks like it has one of those covers. This movie takes place in Brooklyn, New York, focuses on the coming of age of a group of high school teens in the late 1950s. This one guy, Bick Bickham, he falls in love for Sandra Bullock's character. This character, Bick Bickham, is a student at a vocational high school in Brooklyn, and then he falls for Sandra Bullock's character, who's a private school student from a wealthy family. And it highlights the tough streets of New York City in the 1950s and the final realization that a gang is nothing more than a bunch of bums, reminiscent of The Outsiders. But The Outsiders was a great movie. This does not look like a great movie at all. Like I said, it's one of those. It looks like one of those public domain movies that you go to the register that you see in the dollar bin at not even a dollar bin, a dollar box at Walmart with this small DVD case that just has a random picture of Sandra Bullock on the cover, and you think, oh, she's the main focus of the movie. Well, I mean, she could be in it. She could be, but the movie probably itself is not very good. But I don't know because I haven't seen it. I can't really comment on it. But just from this picture that I see right here alone, it definitely looks like something that is one of those dollar DVDs that you just buy because it's there as you're checking out of Walmart or Target or wherever. And it's not going to be any good. It looks like it would be something that would probably be like a TV movie of the week type of thing. But it's nothing that's going to be memorable whatsoever. So that's really all I got to say on this one. Who Shot Pat? And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we will have 5 new movies to look at. Again, not a good list of movies, but we have some notable ones here that are worth talking about. Not movies like Crisscross or Wild Orchid 2, Two Shades of Blue, but Drew Barrymore and Poison Ivy is one that we could definitely delve more into, as well as the very underrated One False Move. And we also have Incident at Ogalla, so we'll look at those movies, and that's it for this one. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I will see you folks tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, and until then, as always, take care.